Hi everyone, Julie Lindsay here. This is an introductory video to support the face-to-face and real-time virtual sessions I've been running in the Faculty of Arts and Education to introduce the QLT online standards. And these are the KPIs that we're working with for the quality check coming up in session 2, 2016. So I have some generic slides here. These were actually produced for the School of Indigenous Australian Studies, but they're pretty much the same as every other school, so I'll run through these. You can see that I've got a link to the slides and a link to the blog website that we have as a team up under the UImagine umbrella. And my material is on the professional learning menu under Faculty of Arts and Education. So please go and grab any of these materials, downloadable PDF files, slides, recordings, etc. There's also a feedback form. I would love you to fill in, give me some feedback, some suggestions of what support you need, etc. We're looking at online learning, and maybe it is our Achilles heel, but right from the start I'd like to say that this is not intended to put pressure on subject coordinators or lecturers or academics at this point. We know that there is already a good baseline standard across all schools across the university, but we are focusing on improvement. We're focusing on a number of areas, particularly the 3 KPIs that I'm going to explain in this session. So good work, everyone, but let's see what else we can do. A little bit of background information. If you go to the QLT site, you'll see the statistics through the evaluation surveys garnered from universities across Australia. So where this is coming from is the fact that CSU perhaps isn't doing so well. On the left is the all universities data for all modes of study. Learner engagement satisfaction across Australia is about 61-60%. For CSU it's about 42-43%. So that has raised a red flag in the last couple of years. This graph is showing us that across Australia, for external mode, which is distance education, learner engagement across Australia is about 25%. CSU is about 14-15%. The internal mode, which is our on-campus face-to-face classes, we're actually doing quite well considering the Australian statistics, so 64-63% across Australia, just a little bit higher for CSU. So taking those that type of survey on board, as well as CSU internal surveys, we're looking at where we can improve. And these 3 areas are my focus, and I'm with the team, online learning leads across all of the faculties. So we're looking at the Interact 2 landing pages, peer-to-peer interaction, and staff-to-student interaction. And each of these relate, of course, to a key performance indicator. Let me look at the first one. So KPI 9, where students experience initial quality assured subject Interact 2 site landing pages and basic outline. Remembering at all times, of course, that I'm talking about a baseline, which is leading into our session 2 quality check. So we want landing pages to be consistently good, a consistent quality across all schools. These are some examples of the sort of landing pages that we're seeing out there now. A couple of different schools, 3 different schools represented there, I think, in that mashup. So you see we've got images, content, some headings, a video, etc. But what do we need to do? So for KPI 9, we need to make sure that our navigation menu is clear. And not just clear, but that it aligns with the school expectations. Some schools have set headings in the navigation, so this is a conversation to have as well, whether your school would like to go down that road and to have consistent navigation across the subjects. We need to make sure the landing page is informative, so things like making sure the subject heading is there, the code and the name, the lecturers basic name, contact information, perhaps some bio information there as well, and that there's a basic overview or introduction to the subject. Now this can be written, audio or video format. There's no compulsion to do video. Written format is fine. Some engagement needs to come into this as well. I mean, this is the first thing the students see when they open up this subject. They're excited, they want to do the subject, they want to get their subject outline. This is the first thing they're going to see. So add a meaningful piece of multimedia. Think about it. And there is support there. One of the first things I'm usually asked is, well, where do we find images that we're allowed to use? I've just written a blog post about that up on our blog. So please have a look, but there are ways that we can help you with this, and it's really, really easy. I want to show you this, and this is one of the SIS schools subjects. This is a subject that attracts a lot of students across the university, IKC 101. So we're looking at doing some landing page makeovers and supporting schools in this way. And this is just one I've been playing with. It's certainly not the final version of the landing page makeover, but you can see that they've got a little banner. There's a acknowledgement of country video, some text from the subject coordinator and her image there as well, looking good. But there's a lot of white space, and we've noticed this in a lot of subjects. There's good content, but some white space. So we're working with Tim Claptor in the UImagine team to grab some HTML code and put in the same sort of content in a different way so that it looks more attractive. And this is just an example. This one hasn't got the video in there yet, but it's just starting to fill in that white space and give that landing page some more sort of engagement. So that's the sort of thing we're looking at. So think about your landing page and the landing pages in your school, how we can support that. And just a word about these templates. Now, we know that when the subject is first created, we have a template with this essential text on it. Now, this text doesn't have to be removed. You can keep it, all of it or part of it at the end of what you put in there. But what we don't want to see is, when the session starts, we don't want to see a landing page that looks like this. Whether you're a on-campus internal subject or a distance subject or a blended Interact 2 site where you've got distance and on-campus students using the same Interact 2 site, we encourage you not to leave it looking like this. We want to see some content up there. All right, so let's look at KPI 11. Now, this is where the students experience a subject that provides the opportunity for peer-to-peer interaction in the online space. So what are you doing in your subject that allows students to interact with each other online? And some different approaches that we've seen, and this is a short list, of course, using things like Google Docs for certain activities or even assignments, using social media such as Facebook or Twitter, using the group tools in Blackboard, and using blogs. There's the ThinkSpace blogging feature is a way to foster interaction as well. Using the discussion forum is probably the most obvious one, and the one that's there immediately in terms of it's there, I can use it, I can think about how I'm going to design for it. There are others that other people are using, of course, and we'll look at that in other workshops. But what you need to do with KPI 11, think about your strategy. Now, every subject is going to be different, and you're a unique lecturer, subject coordinator, etc. Your subject is unique. So what is your strategy for encouraging students to interact with each other? And how can you design that? Now, don't forget that you can have my help. There is also ED help. You're not alone in this task at all. But we are asking, give it a little bit of thought. What isn't there that could be there? What issues are you having with your discussion boards that we could talk about and try and solve and improve together? Level of interaction is another one that we're looking at, and we all know the challenges with that. We know towards the end of the session how discussions drop off, and those sort of things may be inherent to your subject anyway, but we need to take a bit of a look at that and see, well, okay, is there something we're doing that could improve this? So that's KPI 11. Now, KPI 12 is the third and last one that I'm looking at, and this is where students experience a subject that provides structured opportunity for staff to student interactions in the online space. So in other words, what are you doing as a teacher? What are you doing to support learning? What are you as a group doing if it's a large subject and you have a number of academics or staff working with this? And this, of course, includes sessional staff, and that's a number of other challenges involved with on-campus and sessional staff, etc. So it's taking that whole basket and saying, well, okay, what are we doing here? And once again, there are different approaches. Some academics are doing teacher-initiated podcasts, weekly or regular podcasts that are supporting the online modules. Some are using multimedia in different ways, providing multimedia, perhaps videos even. The announcement tool, of course, is one immediate way that teachers and subject coordinators, etc., are communicating and interacting with students, and what you put in those announcements, how you make them clear, how you go beyond a casual email to share essential information in those announcements is important. Then there are tools like CSU Replay, providing access to lectures and other material, and Adobe Connect. What you're doing with that. Are you running online meetings? It may not be necessary for you to do that, but maybe you could think about doing a couple across the session, or having an Adobe Connect room where students and yourself sometimes can go in and use the chat facility. This is not necessarily common, but it happens quite a bit across the university, where it's an open room and students know they can perhaps go in there 5 o'clock on a Monday and you will be there and you're willing to chat with them just using the text chat facility. So things like that, sometimes we get a bit scared of Adobe Connect, hoping that it'll work when we open it up, which it normally does, but using the chat facility is always a good way to avoid any audio issues, etc. So thinking out of the box sometimes with this one. So with KPI 12, we're talking about clear and regular communication. Someone asked me today, how often should you send an announcement out? And is 10 times a week too often? And probably yes, 10 times a week putting an announcement into a student's email box is probably too often, but once a month is not enough. So think about, where's the balance? In my adjunct work with the School of Information Studies, I send out announcements every week, and sometimes a second announcement if I need to remind them of something. So that's the balance that I have found. So facilitation of KPI 12 is planning strategies for building this teacher presence and building on visibility. Are you visible as a teacher, as an academic in the subject? Are you supporting the learning process? Are you supporting the content that's already there and not just delivering the content and sitting back, but actually supporting the understanding of that content? And thinking of different ways to do that. How can you design your discussion board so that you're actually initiating discussions as well and responding? Lots to be said here. I'll be running other workshops on this as well. So just to finish up here, and thanks so much for watching this, we're doing a quality check in session 2. So the week of June the 27th, we will be opening up every landing page, every subject across the university. That's our goal. And just checking, just taking some data. And then the mid-session break, which is August, September, mid-session, we're going to be taking a look at a sample of subjects from every school. Not every subject, but a sample. We'll be looking at KPI 11 and 12 and the visibility of student interaction and teacher-to-student interaction. So to support this, as well as this type of video and running sessions, live sessions, we have this blog website that you can access through that URL, and we're putting blog posts up there and different information pages and schedules and lots of different things, and we're featuring subjects that are doing best practice and sharing that best practice across faculties. It's really difficult sometimes when you're in your own little school, perhaps, and your own set of subjects, to see what other people are doing. And we know that you don't get access to those Interact 2 sites readily. So by taking some screenshots and some screencasting little videos, we're going to try and give you a deeper look at what's happening, where the good things are, and how you can learn from that and improve your practice as well. So on that website, I have a page for the work that I'm doing under the professional learning menu Faculty of Arts and Education page, and this is just part of that page showing the schedule that I have between now and when we're doing that landing page quality check. So you can see today is May the 25th. I'm doing another KPI 9 session on Friday this week. Next week I'm doing some sessions on KPI 11. And then in a couple of weeks after that, KPI 12. You can see there's a couple of weeks spare where I'm open to schools to get in touch with me and book in some sessions of interest to them, or to repeat some of these sessions in a smaller group, etc. So take advantage of me being available and to hone in on certain things. If you want to look at that landing page makeover process, I can show you that. In a school situation, just for a couple of subjects or a course, etc. So let's talk. Just to let you know also, the DSL now has a new approach, relatively new approach to requesting ED support, and this is up on their website, so you can grab the link to this as well if you want to book in some ED time. And the CSU online learning model, there's a link to that. And if you're not grabbing the links through this video, which you probably aren't, just grab one of the PDF files underneath the video in the schedule there and open it up, and the links are all in all of those PDF files. So I'm working with the OLM scale up as well as the QLT KPI work. So the overlaps are the interaction between students section and the teacher presence section. So if you're working in both of these areas, that's where my work will be as well. So the message now is to keep calm and stay in touch, and I don't have the screen visible for the rest of this slide, never mind, but there's my email. Please stay in touch. I'm working through your heads of schools and your associate heads and course directors, etc., but I'm welcome to personal emails at any time and from anyone in the Faculty of Arts and Education, and let me know how you're going and where I can help. Thanks very much, everyone.